It's not the size; it's how you use it.
I think 50 cal trumps everything, like hands down. I don't care. Auto just deletes everything. Anyways, welcome back to the live stream. We're actually going to be rolling this out as more of a podcast, not necessarily a live stream. It'll be kind of interesting, something Ice Bear and I are going to be doing. Let me just introduce you to Ice Bear. Let him introduce himself to you. Take it away.
I'm new to Airsoft, and I like to modify absolutely everything I touch. So naturally, I'd modify all the Airsoft guns that I have and went overboard with the whole Airsoft thing. So that's what I do.
What a wonderful segue into the first topic. Let's dive into top 3 mods. What are the 3? If you just bought an M4 and you're new to this, maybe it's something that the average Airsofter could do. What are you suggesting? Top 3 mods, and this is something with minimal tools, like the basic tools, not your workshop where you get on the milling machine and
just make something.
That.
So I would say, not to make this a long-winded answer, but it's kind of more involved. If you buy, let's say you're starting out with like a $220 M4, because if you buy a $700, $600, $400 M4, it's probably not going to really need modifications unless you want it to shoot faster. Most guns out of the box are actually pretty good if you spend the money, but let's just say, for the sake of diving into more stuff, that we're starting out with like a $220 M4. Probably your best upgrade is going to be, I would say, bucking and inner barrel would probably be the first 2 simple mods. And while you're there, maybe a hop-up unit as well. Just change all of that, because that's kind of like the main functioning part of the gun, aside from your compression and everything. So, but then again, if you switch buckings and hop-ups, sometimes there's nozzle issues where your nozzle might not be long enough for a specific hop-up, that type of thing. So a bucking and an inner barrel would be good. What I would recommend to new shooters in the airsoft industry, or in general, modding anything, this goes for modding anything, I should say, use it first. Take it out to the field, test it. Can you not hit that person out there at 100 feet? Okay, well, do you need to hit somebody at 100 feet? Like, are the BBs flying straight? Are they consistent? Like, put it over the chronograph and find out how consistent it's shooting, how accurate it is, and then go from there. If it's actually accurate enough, like the guns that you use are pretty much out of the box stock, most of them are, and you're making some awesome shots really far away. So you might not need mods. Probably the most basic, simplistic modification, it's not really a mod, but a lot of people are using like nickel metal batteries or like lesser quality batteries in an AEG. So step up to like a lithium ion or lithium polymer and run like an 11-1 if your gun's rated for it. And that will take a $220 gun and make it 25 rounds a second, or maybe a little faster depending on what it is. And you're going to get more reliability out of it as well. So something that simple. You'll also get more response in semi-auto with a higher voltage battery. So don't be juicing it to like 14 volts or something like that. Full send it. But that's where I would start. Honestly, like, take it out and try it. Don't even put a sight on it. Just bring it to the airsoft field and test it. Just use kind of the stream of BBs to aim. Just look over the gun and see where you're at. And then if you're like, hey, it'd be nice to have a red dot, pick up a red dot. The one that you reviewed on your channel is actually awesome. I was looking at that more, and I'm really tempted to buy one. So
the V30 from Fiachi.
Yes, that one, because it had a riser with it, didn't it?
Riser, shake awake, and it also had the sunscreen in the front. So it's like for the money, I think it was, I want to say sub $50. Like,
I think it was like $20 or $30. I don't think it was very expensive at all.
It might have been on sale. Yeah, it was. I was impressed with it though.
But the fact that it has the kill flash or the sunshade in the front of it is awesome, because you will get shot in the gun or in the
Mm-hmm.
goggles or whatever else. So I think that would be a good thing to have. But compared to the, can't think of the name of the one I have on the F4. Uh, it's evaded me, but the one that you reviewed compared to that one, I would rather have the one that you reviewed. Aside from, does yours go to green dot or is it red dot only?
I think it's specifically, I think it's just red.
I think so too. Like mine, you can switch to green, and that's, I see the green dots better myself. I don't know what it is, but
Mm-hmm.
it works with my eyes better. So,
Yeah,
but that's what I
that's
would say.
those are great. Yeah, those are great options. Do you find with hop up buckings a break in period? Do you notice the break in period? Because I just swapped mine on one of the Elite Force guns, and I'm noticing like it was inconsistent, and the more I shoot it, the more consistent it became. So is that a thing?
I would say probably yes and no. So in anything cast, like cast silicone, cast rubber, there's a release agent generally applied to the mold so that when everything hardens up, they can actually remove the part from the mold. So from your situation, I would guess, this is just a guess off the top of my head, maybe there's release agent on the bucking itself, and the BBs are kind of wearing away at that
Mm-hmm.
as you're shooting. I believe BBs are also lubricated with a wax based lubricant. So maybe they're kind of interacting with each other. So maybe just take some alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, and just clean out. You could do it with the gun together with the barrel on. Just run a cleaning rod through the muzzle and then spin it down in the bucking there. Obviously, set your hop to like off and do that, so you're not
Mm-hmm.
like ripping the, ripping the nub off.
R.I.P. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I would start with that. Maybe clean it. With this LMG build, I was like, maybe I should just check to see how dirty the barrel is, and I ran a rod with a patch through it with some alcohol on it, and it came out filthy. And that's a brand new gun out of the box. So I would instantly suggest when you get a new gun, clean it, and that would be a good option for you. So
Gotcha.
there might be, depending on how the bucking and inner barrel all sit with your hop unit too. I've actually found that even on the max hop ups, the really expensive hop units, you can actually rotate the inner barrel a little bit, and your hop patch will actually change off center a little bit. So there's any movement in that barrel, if it's shifting kind of as it fires or something like that, or
Mm-hmm.
if the nub on your bucking is not centered, that can cause issues too. So
Yeah,
it's,
big time issues, and you got to tear everything apart. And
yeah, generally that though, it's like you'll see your BBs curve off to the left or the right, or they'll be doing weird stuff like that. So,
mm-hmm.
but
But
in
it'll
your
be
case,
consistent. It'll be really consistent with that.
yes,
If the bucking and the nub itself are in the wrong spot, you'll just see this consistent shooting the wrong way. So you should be able to adjust, fix it, and then move on. In my case, it was really inconsistent. And then the more, I think I shot like 250 rounds through it, and it calmed down, and I just kept playing with the hop up, and I dialed it in. It was like shooting the same spot every time. So it was just
interesting.
just a really weird. I was like, because I don't ever remember having any type of like break in period with a hop up or a bucking. I'm sorry, with a bucking, putting a new one on with all the other builds that I did. Um,
What
yeah,
brand was it?
Mad Bull is their red one with the fishbone
Okay.
nub. So it puts pressure. The other weird thing is too, that one's designed to put pressure on the outside of the BB itself. So it's actually putting it's I want to say it's like a flat hop, but it's not like a flat hop. You know what I mean? So it's putting like it's weird. It's impressive. It really
Huh.
is.
Interesting.
Um,
That might contribute to if your nozzle alignment or your nozzle's kind of moving every shot as well, like they have a little bit of slop to them, and the nozzle goes off to,
what if the fishbone's moving inside?
it could, yeah, any variation, if that BB gets pushed more to the left, it could probably cause the backspin to be on one side or pushed off to the other side, like because it's only 2 contact patches instead of like one central. I would think that
Right.
might cause it. So, but if it's settling in, just keep shooting it. I would maybe just run that cleaning patch with some alcohol through your gun. Let it dry out and see what happens. Might be a good start.
Sounds good to me.
It's
Any
like
projects coming down the road? Anything exciting?
I'm kind of running out of money. So,
I was going to say, don't show Becca this.
right. I'm kind of trying to work with what I have. So there's a couple guns I'm trying to sell on eBay right now, and one of them's
Which
HPA.
you did an amazing buyer and seller guide on eBay. I watched it twice. Like I was just like, that was the best video, guys. And if you like, you should go check that out if you're considering selling or buying on eBay. Great talking points from Rick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you got to know what you're doing on there. Plus, I don't know. I've gotten screwed over a few times.
Great stories. Great. Absolute. I've just been driving and I just start laughing.
I should have grabbed the NFT. I don't know where it is. I
That
actually
needs
got
to get
shipped a
framed.
I actually got shipped a picture of a high kappa, like legit, just a photocopied. Like it wasn't even a picture. Like they had probably mailed it to 12 people, but it's actually just a picture of a high kappa, and that's what they sent me. And I was like,
When did you get the shipping notification? Because I swear you and I had spoke that week when it was supposed to show up, and you got the shipping notification, and the package was mad light, and you
yeah,
caught it, and you're just like,
it was like a tenth of a pound or something, and I'm just like, yeah, that's gonna be like an envelope with a piece of paper in it. And then, of course, I think I was talking to you at the time when I opened it, and I'm just like, yeah, it's a piece of paper.
we were on the phone. That was the best. You're like, you open the envelope, and it's just like, get wrecked.
Of course, all I remember is you laughing for about 5 minutes straight.
Because you called it though, like you absolutely you even in the back of your mind when you were ordering that one, it was like, this is too good to be true. Like you
Yeah,
called it before you bought it, and then you get the shipping notification. You called that, like something in the back of your head's just telling you, like, no, 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 no. The entire, I mean, it was what, 2 weeks of waiting, and then all of a sudden this thing shows up. I'm like, dude,
yeah.
it was just the suspense just building up to that was
Well, and that's point number one about eBay and buying anything in general. Again, is use your instincts. And if I had used mine, I probably would have bought that. But luckily, I was smart enough to actually contact them and say, "Is this for the actual pistol?" And they did reply and said yes. So if I had any issues, I could go to eBay and say, "Look, they told me it was the actual pistol itself, not just a picture." So, but luckily, the platform's really good at handling stuff like that. But the seller, as far as I know, still has an account and they're still live and they're probably still scamming people. I don't know what's up with that. I would think they'd be cracking down on that more. But anyway, back on topic there, Captain Sidetrack.
hey, it was a good talking point. I think the viewers would
It is.
appreciate that, or anyone listening to the podcast would truly enjoy that. But
I think so too.
yeah, don't buy NFTs on eBay. Oh my gosh.
And if you do, frame them.
Yeah, it needs to be hanging in your office. It really does.
I should hang it like back here somewhere.
Just a little cutout behind your head, just cut out of foam.
Yeah, just take one of these out.
Future projects. I sidetracked you. Existing guns.
Right. Occasionally I'll have like a couple things that I just slap together and then I'll say, well, I kind of want a purpose built setup for X or Y. And then I just kind of take, oh, that one's got a Titan in it. Let's take the Titan out. Let's put it in this one. And let's take the gears from that one and put it in this and switch this gearbox to that gun. And like, I kind of just switch stuff kind of around what I have already. So lately, though, I kind of just want to go play Airsoft and I don't really want to tech that much. And I'm trying to build something ultra reliable where I can just go play and not worry about it. So my HPA track record is not very good. Every time I bring one to the field, it usually doesn't work. Um, and you can test it with 2,000 rounds the night before, and of course, you get to the field and you have them cronny, and it's just leaking air everywhere, and it doesn't work. So, um, yeah, story of my life on that one. But
I'm right there with you, though. I just have worse luck with HPA.
right, maybe it's because I sent it to you. I don't know. Like the bad luck stream continues in Pennsylvania.
Thanks, bud. The curse just shared it. Yeah,
you're welcome,
dude. I like running AEGs. I really love running AEGs.
I do too. It's at first my theory was HPA everything because it's simple to like work on and stuff. It's real easy to take it apart and shim gearboxes and do all that stuff. But when you're actually out there playing and you got to carry around the stupid air tank and have this airline attached to the gun itself, that kind of, it's not really inconvenient per se. It depends on the role you're playing too, though. But AEGs definitely are, I think, the way to go if you want to shoot and scoot and get into the action. And AEG is probably what you want to start with anyway. Try an HPA, maybe you'd like that better or something. I don't know, but no, that was kind of the LMG. I was like thinking, let's HPA it. Then I left it up to the wife, and I'm like, hey, what should we do with this? Like, you get to pick whatever you want to do with this thing. And she's like, I want to do this, I want to do that. But we did list out all the pros and cons and kind of went through the list, and she was like, well, that seems like it's the better choice. So it's kind of like buying a pair of shoes. Like the shoes you like, I probably won't like, and the shoes that'll fit you don't fit me. So there's kind of it's very personal what that airsoft gun is to you. So if you want to run HPA and that's all you want to run, go run HPA. Like if you can make that work in the situation you're in, more power to you. So
I agree.
I think it just depends, again, purpose and the person running it. Like everything has a trade-off, right? So you have consistency and reliability. Generally is better with HPA because it's a more controlled system. AEGs, you have a bunch of gears spinning and there's a compression system working, and they all kind of have to work in unison. There's timing, there's batteries, there's all that stuff to it, and then motors, and then as you shoot more, your battery drains and it shoots slower. There's
right.
There's trade-offs, but you get more of a simplistic setup or loadout where you have the AEG and you just like you can set that gun down and walk away from it if you need to. You don't have to like disconnect your line or that type of thing. Plus, you don't have a 4,500 psi tank or 3,000 psi tank on your belt or on your back or something like that. So it's makes more sense in some ways.